is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, everyone. Good to see your faces. So many of us woke up to this morning something we have not seen since World War II. After months of buildup, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine today. Videos of explosions all over the country are going viral on social media. There are videos of missiles hitting targets near airports and Ukrainian military bases. I hate that sound. Even some civilian areas have been attacked, like this apartment building. Russian military equipment and convoys of tanks have been seen entering the country. There's also video of Russian helicopters being shot at near Ukraine's capital. As you can see right here, Russian President Vladimir Putin warned the West, saying, quote, "To anyone who would consider interfering from the outside, if you do, you will face consequences greater than any you have faced in history." Meantime, President Biden vowing to hold Russia accountable and is set to announce what he called severe sanctions. He called the attack premeditated, said it would bring, quote, catastrophic loss of life and human suffering. So on DBL, we take this and we make it personal and we talk about what you're really talking about. So how did you all feel? Let's just straight up say, just waking up this morning, Linz.
I didn't think that I would see something like this in my lifetime. So especially the video that we just saw is one that I watched when you heard the little kid's voice. You know, it just shows you how much of a dictator Putin was and how disgusting this all is. Knowing that this is not in any way, even though it's been painted that way, that this was antagonized, that caused this. These are just people that are now being displaced. There's going to be a migration crisis. There are people that are dying, kids that are in homes, apartment buildings that are being attacked. There's no order. And so I think it's just heartbreaking because knowing that Russia has one of the biggest nuclear stockpile of weapons, it's just scary. It made you just think for a minute. Colin, my partner, he's like, as they're taking people out, they're telling women and children, we're going to get you guys out, and they're telling, it's heartbreaking. They're telling the guys to stay back. So if it came over here, you know, that might be our same situation. And so I just feel for these people, and I really hope that we can get this figured out.
I appreciate your honesty and your feelings, and feel free to be real here because that's what we do. I do want to give a really great quote. I hope I have it here. Yes, former U.S. Ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul, said, "This is equivalent to September 1st, 1939, the beginning of World War II." Did you think you'd wake up and see this at any time in your life?
Actually, I kind of went to sleep with this. You know, I went to sleep kind of late last night, so my partner and I were talking about it, and, you know, waking up, I just don't think a lot of Americans, including myself, even the ones that are older, that may have actually been children or been alive during World War II, which was, you know, 39 to 42, basically, and I think it ended in 42, but, you know, I think we all thought we were past this because there are so many countries with nuclear capability that it kind of keeps everybody at bay. And the fact that it was the first thing that he mentioned is that if you interfere, you know what we're sitting on. It scared everybody. But I do feel a different sentiment. I do feel like if this was 20 years ago, we would have been reading online Americans commenting, "Bomb them, let's get them." I don't get that vibe. I think we kind of learned our lesson in Afghanistan, learned our lesson in Vietnam, and I don't think a lot of Americans are pro, let's run over there and we'll figure it out once we get there.
Right, and I kind of want to talk about this next. What do you think this means for us here in America? And I mean, how will this affect us in terms of gas prices, inflation, even just pain in our hearts for those who are out there? And also, how should the U.S. respond? Now, two different questions. First off, I just want to get, Al, what do you think will happen to the U.S. in the meantime? What do you think we'll sacrifice?
I mean, we are part of a world economy. So now that the Russian dollar is decimated, it's going to affect the entire world economy. We're going to put sanctions on Russia, but now is Russia going to then lean on China, which can now financially prop up Russia? What will that do to our relations with China? I know it seems a little in the weeds, but Russia really kind of made this move, it seemed like, Lindsay, after China was kind of in their corner.
And it's not only one thing that they can do. You know, Russia can also, and there's been reports already that there's been security levels that have gone up because they want to protect cybersecurity. So we saw what happened a couple of years ago in the election. Russia has the capability to infiltrate our banking systems, to infiltrate our electric power grids.
Right,
so on real levels,
right.
they can affect us, and not just sending a bomb over here. So, you know, just this chaos that's kind of coming, and it's like, what should the U.S. do? We are hesitant to jump over there. Nobody really wants to jump over there, but I understand why, because no one wants a country that's run by such a dictator who obviously is such a loose cannon to do anything that's like knee-jerk reaction, because this whole attack in Ukraine is a knee-jerk reaction, and I think it's because he saw the chaos in our country and thought it was a good time. Not only chaos within NATO and the conversations on how to handle this, but the chaos of how our own country had our Capitol storm recently, the chaos of how we pulled out of Afghanistan, the chaos about how we've been infighting so much and we look so divided. Now is the time to act, especially when you're dealing with a dictator.
Infrastructure, Lindsay. Remember they shut the lights off in New Orleans a couple of years, like, and no one said anything? This is the result of that. Like, you're exactly right. Please continue.
No, that's all I'll say. It just looks like, and I don't want to take it too political, but it looks like a time when we're so divided. This is what some of the signs we're sending out to the rest of the world to behave in any kind of manner.
Let's talk about that, because that is such a Putin move, right? Let's talk about Putin. He senses weakness.
And very quickly, World War II ended in 1945.
45, yes. I'm glad we got that corrected. Putin is so good at smelling weakness that not only did our elections not go as planned because people didn't even believe in them, he picked the right time. I agree with you. This is what journalist Dan Rather said, and I want to get your take on this as to what U.S. should do in the future. He said, to take the side of Putin in any way is to take the side of an enemy to peace. And I've been watching the news, and there's some people that are like, what's the problem with Putin? And it's really gotten me really scared, because in America, we are against this. And if you are for peace, you are against someone to come into and invade someone without any provocation. So now that this has happened, do you think we will go and invade? We have about 5,000 troops that are going to be deployed to Poland. The U.S. says it will not send troops to Ukraine or Russia. Will this be a drone attack? What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think we can just stand there and watch this happen, because that also makes us look weak.
Right.
Just to allow, and I know Ukraine is not part of NATO, so we don't have the obligation to protect them, but it just feels like we're just going to stand there and say, oh, we're sending sanctions. Like, what does that really mean to somebody who's acting as a dictator? So that's why it scares me, because I don't know that it's just like, well, nothing will be done. This is a bigger message if we all just sit back and do nothing, knowing that all countries against Russia are a bigger force. But I don't know if we want to get into that tit for tat with a crazy man.
And I know we're not going to go like ground troops in the trenches. I know we're more technologically advanced. Is that the kind of war I'm picturing?
I don't think that's the war we want either.
Right. I mean, so what do you think we should do if you had to say?
I think that we've learned that wars are fiercely unpopular. I think being a war hawk and talking that talk, Lindsay, is what gets you popular and get you elected. But I think the country as a whole knows that at the end of the day, it's going to be our kids that are going to go, not the rich senators, not the rich generals. It's going to be regular working class folks that are going to have to send our kids and then watch them come home disabled or in a body bag. And wars are finally, thank goodness, in this country, a very unpopular stance to take. And that's one thing I did appreciate about Trump. He did de-escalate the Iran situation, which was tense at one point. Nobody wants to go to war. So I just hope we remember that.
I also don't want innocent Ukrainians to be killed at the same time. I just want to finish with Secretary General of NATO, Jens Stoltenberg, says, peace on our continent has been shattered. We now have war in Europe on a scale and a type that we have thought belonged in history. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
I can't even listen to kids' stories anymore. I mean, the whole thing is a mess, but when I listen to stories that involve kids, it's kind of like, you know, it just I have this little baby, so I'm just thinking about how people over there are just trying to live their regular life. They didn't ask to be involved in this tit for tat with Russia, and so now they're just casualties of war, literally.
Absolutely.
A war that they didn't even ask for. And then it's not even like it's a fair fight. Like,
I mean,
Ukraine can't even if we send them all the stuff, we're basically going to say good
5
luck.
million people are in Ukraine.
I'm not sure the exact number, but I know that, like, you know, they can't beat Russia no matter what. And so they're saying, people are suggesting that they beat them by resistance. It's saying we won't let you take over, but that means more people die.
Absolutely.
So at some point, I might think about protecting my family more than I think about resistance.
And I mean, so what do? Do you lay down your arms?
That's what makes you feel emotional. Is the idea.
Yeah, the idea that
You brought a
baby.
child into the world
That's what actually
right
changed.
when
That's
this
what
is
made it work.
happening. What does it mean? What's the unknown for
And then some
them?
people were
I
like
agree with you. That was the
elongating the whole thing of like we dealt with one of the craziest viruses and pandemics in modern history. Then almost now we're talking about World War III. Like, is this real?
Yeah.
You know, it just seems
My
like the
question is-
craziest. Like, can we just not?
Great. Good.
Just seems like
Lindsay,
we
what do you think would happen if one of our allies
you.
gets involved? If like Great Britain gets
And
involved?
thanks for those beats. That
Or
really
Germany.
helped. That was good.
I feel like not doing anything then is like forcing our hand that we just
Yeah, I
telling
mean, at
Russia
that
just
point, they're part
have
of
at
it.
it.
Do everything we can.
To not, yeah.
Short of.
And they keep making sure they say that, short of violence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's many things you can do.
Well, it's a thing-
cyber attacks. That's a whole other.
And they said they
angle
could
to
shut
this.
down a pipeline that I think oil is going from Germany to
The Nord
Russia.
Stream's been
But
shut
but
down, too.
Germany won't say it out loud, and so Russia doesn't think they're going to do it. That's why NATO's fighting so much.
You want to know
Because-
something interesting? In the UN yesterday, the Ukraine ambassadors looked at the Russian ambassador and said, "War criminals don't go to purgatory; they go to hell, Mr. Ambassador."
Oh, I know.
Moved his mic. Welcome back. The husband of Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer who was shot and killed on the Rust movie set, is now speaking out. Now, he's suing Alec Baldwin and the other producers of the movie for wrongful death. Here's what he told the Today Show. Take a look.
Just so angry to see him talk about her death so publicly in such a detailed way, and then to not accept any responsibility after having just described killing her and seeing him cry about it. I just feel like, are we really supposed to feel bad about you, Mr. Baldwin? The idea that the person holding the gun, causing it to discharge, is not responsible is absurd to me.
This is what Matt Hutchins was referring to. This is Alec Baldwin's interview. You guys remember this with ABC News following the shooting. If you recall, Alec said he did not pull the trigger and said someone is responsible for the shooting, but not him. Alec has denied any accusations that the set was unsafe. Here to Matt Hutchins. I've been saying this since day one. It's not just the producing, it's the guy holding the gun that can be seen as wrongful death. No matter if he didn't hit the trigger or he pointed it in the direction unsafely and it caused the death of another person. I don't get how that's anything else other than a wrongful death. Lindsay, what do you think?
I think it's a normal feeling for a family member to have that, to see the famous person going on and asking for sympathy when they have the dead sibling, a dead family member, a dead sister, dead spouse. Like these are family that's been complaining in the civil suit about Alec Baldwin that keeps talking. And like, you don't have to do these interviews.
Wait,
you
tell
don't
me
have
about
to,
that. What do you think?
I wish that he would just stop. No, he does not have to. He can put out a statement and just lay low. Or even if you want to put out a statement, let that be that. But don't go on and beg for sympathy with your tears when you're not the one who lost anybody.
I mean, I get it on a moral level. I completely agree with you. But on a tactical level, in terms of getting your case out there, in terms of public opinion, we saw this with R. Kelly when he did that interview with Gayle King. Whenever you're accused of something and it's very public, I feel like you need to do kind of a softball interview like this, because Lindsay, you don't want to.
But it always goes wrong. If we're going by your example, the R. Kelly was a disaster. That went wrong. So that's why. Whose PR team is like, yeah, we're gonna try it for a third time. We did R. Kelly.
They couldn't send him in front of a lawyer. They would have been over in cross-examination. You gotta hope Gayle King gives a nice.
You want one chance to tell your story,
right?
Your side.
This way, I mean, to take it another direction, the police officer that just was convicted to 2 years, 16 months for killing Dante Wright. I believe that when they showed the footage of her crying on the sidewalk saying, "I killed somebody, I'm going to jail," the public that's already a vote in her favor in the case of public opinion. And that judge that was crying when she gave the sentence to her had been affected by that, because she had personalized this. When people see Alec Baldwin crying, they're like, oh, I've made a mistake too. I would feel bad too, and now their team out. But they don't want to put Alec Baldwin in front of a lawyer. He'll get ripped apart.
I will just say this. I think there's a time and place for the interviews. I think Lindsay's absolutely right. This was a disaster of a PR, because he really put himself as a victim. That doesn't go over well for jurors when he's the one who shot the gun. It's like Prince Andrew in the Falcons. Remember that interview? I don't sweat. Yeah.
Remember, he followed up on social media saying everything's going to be all right.
Right.
Obviously not to her family.
That was not a good look.
Amen. Amen. Coming up on DBL, a man's fake rent-a-hitman website helps bust dozens of murder-for-hire plots. He tells us how it all got started. Stay tuned.
A military funeral is a way to honor a person's service to their country. Verify viewer Gus says he's attended 2 recently in California and noticed an absence of a rifle salute. Gus says he's heard they're banned in California. So, let's verify. Are rifle salutes banned at military funerals? Our sources are the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the American Legion, the U.S. Air Force, and the California Department of Veterans Affairs, or CalVet. There are 2 types of funeral honors. One is a 21-gun salute, which uses artillery pieces and is exclusively for heads of state, like when they honor the late President George H.W. Bush. The other is a 3-volley salute, which uses rifles and can be performed for anyone. The 3-volley salute was a staple at military funerals until 2013. The military would provide a 7-person team for funerals who could act as the firing party. But budget cuts trimmed the detail down to just 2 people who fold the flag and play a recording of taps. In some cases, command staff can allocate more people, including a firing party, which is often the case for those killed in action, but it's no longer required except at Arlington National Cemetery. The VA tells Verify, quote, "We are not aware of any state bans of 21-gun salutes as part of military honors. National cemeteries are federal properties. Therefore, even if a state ban existed, it would not apply to VA national cemeteries," unquote. CalVet also says there is no restriction on 3-volley salutes at state veteran cemeteries, although the family must get either the military or an authorized provider, like the American Legion or VFW, to perform the salute. So it's false that rifle salutes are banned at military funerals. They're just not required. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Bob Innes has a strange pastime. He runs a website called rentahitman.com. But get this, it's all fake, and legitimate requests get turned over to the police. We began our chat by asking Bob about a 14-year-old girl who tried to hire a hitman to kill her ex-boyfriend through his website. Wow, take a look.
Please welcome Bob Innes. Bob,
Yes.
hello. Wow. So first of all, you're doing like the Lord's work. You're actually like preventing people from these horrific situations, worst case scenario, death. Tell us about this case particularly.
Well, I can't speak to the details in this particular case, but I did receive an email from a 14-year-old who apparently wanted to have her ex taken out. I simply requested a welfare check from the Baton Rouge Police Department because there may be abuse, and it was up to them to perform their investigation and do what they needed to do.
Your site has a bunch of clues on it that proves it's not real and that it's a joke. Tell us about those, and why do you think people fall for it?
Okay, so first of all, yeah, our site boasts a privacy and confidentiality known as HIPAA. It's not the medical HIPAA. This is the Hitman Information Privacy and Protection Act of 1964.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, people hear HIPAA, they feel compelled to fill out the web form using their real information. Yeah, makes it easy. There's references to over 17,985 U.S.-based field operatives, and if you Google the number of police departments in the U.S., that's what you'll get. There's even a Rickroll hidden on the page. So,
Oh my! I can't believe the stupidity of people. I'm like not even.
Hey.
Yeah,
Well, it's not like this is new because you've been running the site for 17 years. How many requests do you get, and how many are actually serious?
So out of about 10% of the requests that I receive do actually turn into cases, whether they're people that are seeking murder for hire, for a bad relationship or a business deal, or just being bullied, about 10% of those cases turn into actionable cases that the police can investigate. The majority of the leads and submissions that I get are hoaxes and that kind of thing.
All right. If somebody goes, hey, I want to kill my spouse, but I want to make sure that you are actually representing hitmen, can you tell me can you give me proof?
I don't think he's a police officer is what you're trying to say, right?
But representing hitmen, can he say, do you have to be forthcoming that this is a ruse?
No, not at all. In fact, there's a disclaimer at the bottom of the page. It says we're not affiliated with X and X and X. I keep changing it up, hoping people will figure it out eventually. But no, as far as a submission is concerned, if there is actionable information on there that somebody is truly in danger, I don't have to say anything to them. I let the field operatives handle it.
Good for you. I know that, we're making light of this because it is crazy and mind-blowing, but at the end of the day, you are saving lives, and you spend all this time, all this money running the site. How many people do you think you've saved, and what do you personally get out of it?
So at this point, a rough tally is a little over 150 people have been saved, and that's internationally. That's including sitting presidents over in the Pacific Rim nations and just regular people like you and I. And as far as what I get out of this, I don't get paid. But I take pride in knowing that what I have done and my actions have actually saved a life and prevented a violent crime. And not only would that affect the victim, but their families and everybody, it touches a lot of people.
Remarkable. Thank you so much, Bob Innes, for joining us. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
One question some newlyweds want to know is, if you're married but want to keep your finances separate, can you file as single? Let's verify. Our source is Mark Henry, CEO of Alloy Wealth Management, and the IRS. The IRS recognizes 5 statuses: single, married filing separately, married filing jointly, head of household, and qualifying widower. According to the IRS, your marital status on December 31st determines whether you are considered married for that year. Married people may file their federal income taxes jointly or separately.
So you would file as married filing separately. So you're not filing jointly if you want to do that. And people do that.
According to the IRS, a joint return allows spouses to combine their income and to deduct combined expenses on a single tax return. If you use the designation married filing separately, each spouse signs, files, and bears responsibility for his or her own tax return.
When you file separately, married, but you're filing 2 different tax returns, it actually puts you in a higher rate, but it's not the same as filing as single.
Henry says figuring the tax both ways can determine which filing status will result in the lowest tax, but usually it's filing jointly. So we can verify that no, you cannot file as single if you are married. However, you can file your taxes separately from your spouse. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
In late January, the New York Times bought the massively popular word game Wordle. And in recent weeks, people have begun complaining that the game has suddenly become harder, claiming the Times version has more obscure words. But is that really true? Did the New York Times make Wordle harder? To verify, we looked at the source code for the original game site using the Internet Archive, the source code for the New York Times version of Wordle, and we got a statement from the Times. To understand whether the game's gotten harder, you have to understand how the daily word is chosen. This isn't like the crossword, where puzzle masters decide each day what the answers are. The answers were predetermined long ago by the creator, Josh Wardle. There's a set list of about 2,500 words that are assigned to different days. So to see if the Times made the game harder, all we have to do is look at the source code for the original website's word list and the new one. And yes, it's possible to see the complete list in order, so you could cheat if you really wanted. Anyway, we compared the 2 word lists, and they're nearly identical. The only change, the original list is 6 words longer. When the Times took over, they removed 6 words, either because they might be offensive or because they were just too obscure. They did not add any new words. So, if anything, they actually made the game easier. A spokesperson for the Times confirmed this in a statement, saying, quote, Since acquiring Wordle, we have not made the puzzle harder. We have not added any words to the solutions list, which was already predetermined by the game's original creator. On the contrary, we did remove a few obscure words. As an example, we removed agora in an effort to make the puzzle more accessible. So, we can verify, no, the New York Times did not make Wordle harder. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Are you ready to shop?
You came in hot.
I came at an 11. I got to slow it down. Get ready for these incredible deals from Morning Save that Steph showed me earlier. They're that good. Take a look, guys. Steph, what do you have for us today?
We've got the Fine Life Sonic toothbrush with 4 brush heads. So this deal includes 1 electric toothbrush base and 4 different brush heads. And it also features 3 different modes: clean, white, and polish.
Oh, wow.
Normally it's $80, but we've got it for only $15, saving everyone 81%. Now, Tori, this one is great. We've got Floor Police cordless motorized mop for tile and wood floors.
What?
So the deal includes 1 mop. Look how fancy this is. 2 scouring pads, 2 microfiber pads, and 2 polishing pads. It's even got a rechargeable battery that gives you 90 minutes of run time.
Wow.
Normally it's $60, but we've got it for only $29, which saves everyone 52%. Now, Tori, I love this one. We've got Olivia Rose Beauty Essentials Facial Care Bundle. So the deal includes 1 facial brush. Look how cute this is.
Yeah.
1 blackhead remover with attachments and 1 vibrating jade roller.
Whoa.
So the vibrating jade roller, which is this, helps stimulate collagen production, circulation, and reduces the appearance of puffiness, discoloration, wrinkles, and fine lines. So normally this kit is $90. We are giving it to you guys for $29, which saves everyone 68%. And then last but certainly not least, we've got Imperia 2-piece woven crossbody set. I mean, this is perfect for putting in like your AirPods. You can have them close and handy.
Cute.
The best bit is this is 100% PETA approved leather.
Oh, I love that.
So normally this is as much as $59, but we've got it for $19, saving everyone 68%.
Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com right on your smartphone. Thank you so much, Steph. Here we go. Okay, so people are writing in. It's so interesting. Just Me wrote, but Alec Baldwin, responsibility for what? Holding the gun, pointing the gun. What exactly did he do wrong? And to me, it's the person with the gun.
That's the court of public opinion I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
you
disagree
just need a
with
couple
him.
of those.
It's easy for me to understand that the person who pointed at the gun is can be wrongfully incriminated in her death. That's not hard for me to get, but for some people it is. Interesting. It was a prop gun, but it was loaded. Lots of discussions. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.